Okay, let's just do this. I always get emotional and I can't talk. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Lydi, and no, my voice does not sound like this at all. I don't know why my voice decided to just go away when I really wanted to do this video, but I'm not gonna let it stop me from making this video because I really want to make this video, because I feel like if I don't make this video, then I can't continue with what I want to do and what I'll be bringing to this channel. For today's video, I wanted to basically talk about why I quit my job, you know, kind of like my head right now, my headspace, my mental health. I'm not really a person who does sit down videos on my channel, but for today I just really felt like I had to just talk with you guys, for whoever's watching this. I don't know who this video is gonna reach, but hopefully it reaches those who may need to hear this. So I have notes because I literally can't do this video without notes. I will literally ram on and on and on about the subject. So I was like, you know what, let me just do notes before I start so that I have like more of like a sequence and, you know, be more organized. I don't want to talk for 30 minutes. Okay, so I wanted to start off with my background a little bit, kind of like talk to you guys about how it all started. It doesn't really make sense right now, but once I get to like everything else, it'll make sense, I promise. So when I was in 8th grade, starting 9th grade, it was like summer, you know, getting ready to go to high school and stuff. A little bit before I ended 8th grade, my sister and I decided to upload a YouTube video to a YouTube channel, and I think it was called Payphone. It was a cover. And we uploaded it to YouTube and we put it on Facebook, and it started to get a lot of attention, not like thousands of views obviously, but just people who followed us were like, oh my gosh, you guys sing so good, I should post more videos and, you know, keep posting because we want to see more. So my twin sister Adrian and I started a YouTube channel, and we would just upload covers, literally just singing videos. This was back when YouTube, you couldn't get copyrighted and you couldn't get any strikes. Nobody was getting paid. It was all just for exposure, you know. Get on YouTube and then hopefully some record deal or somebody finds you, discovers you, and then boom, you're a musician. So that was kind of like, I mean, that was my mentality when we started, and I think it was Adri's too, because we both love singing and YouTube was just kind of like a hobby to us, but at the same time we kind of wanted to, like, you know, get somewhere with it. Surprisingly, our channel kind of took off very quickly. There was people like asking for covers. We started getting a lot of subscribers really fast, and mind you, again, this was when YouTube wasn't even like a thing, so we were like really in the beginning stages of YouTube, and we were like, okay, like this is fun, like let's keep doing it. So we kept doing videos. That's when I learned how to edit. I used to edit on my phone, but then the videos started to get really long because we would include bloopers, and a lot of people, that's how they kind of got to know us, through our bloopers. So it was like a cover and then a blooper, and then we started to do challenges, and I started to move into the laptop editing softwares, and that's where I really learned how to edit. I got the hang of YouTube. I knew how to use it. I knew how to manage it, and I've always been someone who's liked to do videos. I've always liked to, you know, the process of cutting videos, putting them together, adding music, and just making like a finished product out of little bits and pieces. So months passed and we were still doing YouTube, but school just started to get really hard. You know, Adrian and I were in volleyball. I had honors classes, which I have no idea why I did that as a freshman. Like, especially in subjects that I wasn't good at. For example, history, I failed that class. But anyways, my grades started to drop because I was more focused on like YouTube and like wanting to make videos. And obviously my parents were like, okay, like you're gonna have to stop doing YouTube if you can't keep your grades up and if you can't keep up with volleyball. So I was like, okay, like we'll just do YouTube videos like whenever we can. So we kind of like fell off of that grind. I always remember my dad telling me like, okay, well, YouTube isn't a job, so you need to focus on school and get good grades so that you can go to college and like get a degree and get a good job. And so that had always been in the back of my head since like freshman year, and so I kind of just like let YouTube go, and I was like, okay, like whatever, like, you know, let me just focus on reality. School, college. You know, I continued high school, I graduated, I went to college. So fast forward, I went to college and I changed my major like 3 times because I never really knew what it was that I really wanted to do. I could never imagine myself in a field. I could never imagine myself in a career. I could never imagine myself like just doing one thing. I don't even know if that makes sense, but I went into college, wanting to do criminal justice, changed it to sociology, changed it then to early childhood studies because I ended up taking a class that really interested me and I ended up falling in love with it. But I knew that teaching or anything that had to do with teacher just wasn't my thing. Like, I love doing it, but it wasn't something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. You know, I didn't want it to become my career. I didn't want it to become my job. I didn't want it to become my 9 to 5. Like, I just knew I didn't want to do that. But I graduated with an early childhood studies degree because I knew that I liked children. So if anything ever happened, I majored into a field that I enjoyed. So to summarize this whole education background, me going to college and getting a degree was always kind of like a backup plan for me, just in case my dreams didn't happen. And what the heck? Why am I getting emotional? Cut the cameras. Just kidding. I think this is the reason why I don't do sit down videos, because I always get emotional and I can't talk. College was always kind of like a backup plan. Like, okay, if anything happens, I have a degree. Like, everyone says get an education. You can never go wrong with going to school and, you know, getting a degree because it's always going to be there. Whether you work with it or work in a field that has to do with your degree or not, like, you're always going to have that to fall back on just in case. So now that you know a little bit of my background, I have always had a regular job. Ever since I went to college, I got a job and I worked in the food industry. I worked on campus as a student worker for the audio and visual department. I also worked at a preschool, a private preschool and an elementary school as a substitute teacher, and they actually offered me a preschool teacher position. But I denied it because I needed something full-time at the time and they were only giving me part-time, and I was also working 2 jobs, so it didn't really seem like it was worth it because they didn't give me benefits either. That is where I ended up working at the warehouse, which is the job that I just quit. So I worked with my cousin. She has her own business. Since 2020, when COVID happened, until now is when I've worked at the warehouse. So it wasn't like a negative experience that had me quit. It was just like me mentally. I just felt like I couldn't do it anymore. Honestly, I'd say like close to 6 months ago, I began to just have like this overwhelming feeling of like needing to do something else. You know, I spent 2 years there and that gave me a lot of time to think and really just hone down on what it is that I wanted to do with my life. And content creating was just always something that I had done since 8th grade in some sort of way. It was always something that I had pursued, but not pursued fully. Like, it was always kind of like less than a part-time thing. And I was always thinking about my degree and like, okay, like, should I do teaching? Should I go to a Montessori school? Like, should I do developmental classes? Like, so many things up in the air. And I was just like, okay, I've come to a realization that it's not my degree. Like, I'm not gonna do anything in my degree. It's just not gonna happen. Like, it's not gonna fulfill me. It's just me mentally. Like, I was not thriving and I was not okay. You know, I would always complain to myself about like, oh, I wish I could do this and I wish I could do that and I wish I could quit my job and like do this. And I was like, okay, then do it. Do it. Like, why are you so scared? And I was like just talking to myself for months and months, like convincing myself to do it, you know, like trying to get myself to do it. I tell Ernesto, my husband, like, I want to quit my job and I know like it's going to be hard financially at first because obviously I've been working like my whole life and like it's always been 2 incomes instead of 1. And I don't know, I was just so in my head and I just never got to do it until like, honestly, I just hit a breaking point. But at the same time, it wasn't a breaking point because I feel like it was soon enough to where I didn't hit my breaking point, but it was enough of a feeling to have me quit, you know? So I remember just telling myself like, you need to get out of the warehouse so that you can start what it is that you want to do. And I was like, I just need to rip the band-aid off and quit my job. And I knew that it wasn't going to come easy. And I knew that it wasn't going to be like a night and day thing, but I just needed to start on it, you know? And I needed to take the risk and do it. Like, I just needed to. For my mental health, I was like creatively running dry and I was like struggling mentally. Like, I was just not happy with my own life. And like, I don't know, I didn't want to regret. I didn't want to look back and regret that I didn't take the risk, that I didn't take the chance, that I didn't put myself out there and start. So to summarize it all up, I quit my job because I wanted to do content creating full time. I'm not getting paid anywhere at all. I think that's the scariest part of it all, but you have to start somewhere. I have like huge dreams and goals that I want to achieve, and sometimes it scares me to tell people that, but I have so much faith in myself. I have so much faith in God, and I just know that this is gonna take me somewhere. Maybe it might not take me where I thought I would be, but it's gonna take me somewhere. And I feel like it'll hurt more if I don't try than if I do try and fail. I don't plan on just being home and doing nothing. Like, I want to be productive. I'm a really productive person. Like, just being at home makes me feel unproductive and like just weird. And I'm always doing something. So just expect a lot of vlogs and a lot of home content on here. Expect more than one video a week if I can, because like I said, I will be doing TikTok as well. And I am uploading on TikTok every single day, 1 to 2 TikToks every single day. So if you don't follow me on TikTok, make sure that you do follow me on there so that you can keep up with me every single day. Instagram, honestly, I'm not a fan of Instagram right now, so I'm not really posting as much. So if you follow me on Instagram and you've noticed that I've been a little MIA or I don't post as much, it's because of that. I'm not a really big fan of Instagram right now, but I will try to like do stories here and there, but just know that it's not my main focus. So if you really do want to stay up to date with me, TikTok is the place to be. Now that I've quit my job, I have like so much motivation, I have so much energy, I have so much like excitement to like wake up the next day and like create content, to clean my house, to make breakfast, like go on errands. I feel like my ideas are just flowing nonstop, and I just can't wait to make that TikTok, or I can't wait to make that YouTube video, or like I'm literally planning out my day to make content. It just feels good to feel alive again. It feels good to feel happy again. It feels good to just otra vez. Oh my god, I keep tearing up. It just, I loved my life back then. Obviously, like, I'm married, I have a house, I have a roof over my head, I have family, I have friends, I have a doggy. Like, my life is great, and I just wasn't happy for so long. And now I know what it was. It was just my job. I just feel like I wasn't fulfilling my purpose there, and I just knew that God had more for me. A warehouse is just not the place for a creative person. 100% not the place. Why am I making this video? Because I want to publicly put myself out there so that I keep myself accountable, I keep myself consistent, and so that you guys can follow along, you know? We have no idea where I'm going to be in like 3 months, 5 months, 1 year, 2 years. And I want to have this video up so that I can look back at it and just remind myself that no matter how much I grew, I did grow. But I also want to inspire maybe someone else who feels like this, who feels like they don't belong somewhere and they just have like this overwhelming feeling of like needing more and doing more. Just do it, because if you don't take the risk, you might be holding yourself back from a blessing or from a new beginning or from a door that's already been open for you. You just need to walk through it. And most importantly, know that God has already equipped you with everything that you need to be what you're meant to be or who you're meant to be. So just take that leap of faith and go for it. I was really scared to quit my job, but then I found this piece of like, it's gonna be okay. I just want to reach the right audience, and you know, people who just, they love me for who I am and they just want to follow along on whatever I do. Like, that's my goal. Like, I don't plan on doing anything crazy, no clickbait, no jumping off cliffs and stuff like that. Like, that's just not me. It's just my everyday life, you know? So yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to a little bit of what's been on my mind and en mi corazón. And if you'd like to follow along on my content creating journey, make sure to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and of course subscribe to my channel on here. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.
A new place, a new home, for a while, let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back, take my